Hey everyone. Hey, I just want to take a minute and address something that keeps coming up for people, particularly this time of the year with the holidays, and especially with coronavirus just continuing to go on and on and on. This COVID that has happened to the entire world is starting to cause people to go a little bit crazy, a little bit stir crazy, where people are frustrated and they're at the end of the rope and they're not sure what to do. And first of all, I just want to address that loneliness is real and acknowledge that it's okay. We are herd animals, if you will. We are designed for community. We're designed to be with people. In this isolation and this separation and this continued separation, then even mask wearing when we go out in public is causing us to feel more disconnected to other people more than ever. And so I just want to acknowledge that it's real. It's a thing. We are not designed to be separated. We are designed to be a tribe, to be a herd, to have our community. It just, even in the man and the woman sense, the two become one, right? Where we're designed for that. And even within our families and you know, some of you may even question, well, how can I be so lonely? I'm stuck in my house with my husband, my wife, my kids. You know, I've got all these people around me 24/7. And the reality is you could even be in a relationship where you completely feel lonely, and your kids don't replace that adult interaction that you get to have with your friends, with your coworkers, with people in your life. Okay. And so, like I said, I just want to acknowledge that it's real, it's a thing, and it's okay. And I want to give you a couple tools to bolster you to get through this, because as it looks now, it looks like COVID isn't going to settle anytime soon. So the first thing I want to address, and maybe some of you have seen this video that I've done, is radical acceptance. We have to radically accept these are our circumstances right now. And I'm not saying we give our freedoms away. I'm not saying we just become robots, because some people would freak out about that. But in your internal battle that's going on in the voice in your head, how you're talking with yourself, you've got to just radically accept that this is what it is for now. Secondly, what I want you to do is I want you to make a list of people that you can sit down and write out who is in your corner. Who do you have in your life that loves you, that adores you, that is there for you, that you could call up, that you could talk to anytime, day or night, that's going to be there for you? I want you to sit down and make that list, because you'd be surprised at how many people are around you. Even though you physically aren't able to get together, think about all the people in your life that you know are supportive of you. Because when we get into that lonely space, we really slip into this victim role where we're all alone, nobody's here for us, nobody cares about me, yada, yada, yada. And down that rabbit hole we go, right? That gremlin takes over and it starts driving our car, our emotional car. And next thing you know, you're off into the weeds and you don't even know where you are anymore. And you're so lonely and you're so depressed because that's what you've been focusing on. So the first thing you need to do is shift your focus in that regard. And the way to do that is to make that list of people who you can reach out to. And then third, what I want you to do, I want you to pick 3 people each day. And I want you to reach out to these people. I know that if you're feeling lonely, everybody else is feeling lonely, right? Everybody, this is a worldwide pandemic, and it's a worldwide emotional pandemic. Suicide rates are through the roof. Divorce rates are through the roof. It's out of control. And domestic violence and child abuse, it's all increasing. Where focus goes, energy flows. So the more you focus on the loneliness, the more depressed you get, the more you're lashing out to the people around you in anger. So if you can shift that focus and you can pour out love to people that you know would be there for you, think of how that's going to shift their day. And it doesn't have to be a 2-hour-long conversation. I get caught in that sometimes, right? Where I get so excited to talk to people and to catch up with people. We end up on the phone for 2 hours or more at a time. And that sometimes it's just not feasible with our schedule, especially juggling everything at home and all the kids at home and everything. So even if it's just a text, hey, I love you, I miss you, I'm thinking about you today, the sun is out, and I hope you're getting your fair share of sunshine today. Or send a quick card. Take 5 minutes and address a card, a handwritten card. People don't get cards anymore. And now is the season when people are, especially people who are single and alone, they're struggling. They're feeling the loneliness to a whole different level that you may be feeling. And I get that you may be in a home and a relationship that may not be fulfilling, and it may not be It may not feel like you have a partner. And if that's the case, I would love to chat with you and have a conversation about that and see what we can do to shift that for you. But you might be in that environment where no matter how many people are around you, you are still feeling lonely. So what I want you to do, like I said, is to shift that focus, reach out to people, 3 people a day, and just pour love on them. Take 15 minutes out of your day, and you will be shocked at the shift in your emotional state when you're giving and pouring love onto other people. And the 4th thing I really want you to consider, I want you to date yourself. And I know people get really wigged out about this. It's really uncomfortable for people. People have a hard time sitting with themselves, being with themselves. Go to a movie by yourself. Go to dinner by yourself. Go on a vacation by yourself. When I'm dealing with my clients that come out of divorce, one of my requirements is that they go date themselves. And typically it's at least a 2 or 3 day vacation on their own, depending on the circumstances, right? Where they have got to go, they've got to be all by themselves. They come into a hotel room by themselves. They go out to lunch by themselves. They go to the beach, or they go to the pool, or they go to the spa. Everything is by themselves, and they're not packing their phone around. They're not distracting themselves with social media and texting and all this or phone calls all weekend. They are alone and with themselves. Because what happens when we get alone, and I've said this 1,000 times, COVID has held a massive mirror up to people, and you and everybody else in the world is forced to deal with all that turmoil inside that you've just stuffed down. You haven't dealt with it, and that's what's cropping up, and that's what's rising up with people. And now more than ever, your emotional intelligence and your emotional health is critical to get you through what we have coming. It's not going to be over soon. It's clear. The quicker and sooner you can address the demons that lie within, those things that happened to you when you were 2, 5, 7, 10, 15, 17, it doesn't matter. All these issues and these traumas that happened, step into that space. And when you go on a vacation by yourself, hotels thankfully in most places are still going, or you can go camping depending on where you live. It's cold in my area now, so I'm not doing that now, but you can find and get creative on ways that you can get out of your environment, shift the environment, go on a vacation, sit quiet with yourself, take a pen and paper, journal like crazy, or take your voice recording and voice journal like crazy if you're not a writer. It doesn't matter, but sit with yourself, feel what's going on, and heal those emotions that are in there. That way, when you're at your wit's end, when it's, Friday afternoon and your kids and your wife or your husband and all of you have been home all week, you are able to take a deep breath, take what I call a resilience reset, which can be done in 30 seconds or less, and you can focus in on your internal, and you can shift your state and focus back on the positive of the joy and the gifts that are coming from COVID, and the ability to spend time with loved ones that you never can get back, because we never know when somebody's gone. They could walk across the street and get hit by a bus tomorrow, and they could be gone. So when we embrace and be present in the day, in the very moment, that's when you are able to shift that focus, and you pull up and you rise up out of that victim loneliness state, and you're able to embrace the people around you that you love, that you enjoy. And it all starts here, and it starts with a decision. Okay, so I want to give you a quick story of one of my clients who's actually become one of my best friends, which is a little bit taboo, but that's how it works sometimes, where she just went on a vacation and she resisted it forever. She resisted it for the longest time. And she wasn't ready, and she felt uncomfortable, and she finally went on this vacation. And I wish I could just show you the text that came through day after day, like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for this. This is the best thing I could have done. I'm discovering who I am. I'm getting to the core of who I was created to be. I'm not listening to all these other voices that are around me. I don't hear the white noise, the chatter of maybe the kids or my husband or him in his office, hearing him on the phone while I'm trying to do stuff in my bedroom because we're all out of office space because we're all here. And just to clear the mind, shut it all down, and to be with yourself. The radical shift and growth that she had in just that week-long vacation was incredible. And every client goes through this, right? She's just the most recent. Every client goes through this as they shift out of that space, and they're able to really discover who you are, heal those emotions that are underneath in there, and then move up and out of that negativity. And like I said, that victim role. Then it's like seeing above the clouds. for the first time. When those airplanes rise up above the clouds and you see this massive expanse of sky, you're like, holy cow, this is huge. And that's what happens when you draw yourself up out of that loneliness state, when you're able to focus on what's going on. You've healed the issues that loneliness is causing you. Really what loneliness is a fear of addressing your stuff. And not that, there's two elements of it, right? Where we are herd animals, we desire community, and we avoid being alone and we're terrified of it because we're really terrified of the emotions that are going on underneath the surface of our own soul. And like I said, when you take time, you step aside, you get in tune with who you are, that's where true freedom is. That's when you get to move on and move up and move out of that space. So I hope this is helpful to you. If you want to have any desire to talk with me further, reach out to me on my website, book a phone call. I'd love to have conversation with you to help you dig up, rise yourself up to a whole new level. Even high performers. I love high performers because they're like, yeah, I've got it dialed in, and they know that they were created for a little bit more. So if you're ready to create a little bit more and take that further step and really accelerate your life, I'd love to have a conversation with you.